Is America getting ready to abandon Ukraine? President Zelensky's troops are fighting Putin's Russia with American weapons funded by billions in American taxpayer dollars. Without this support, Ukraine can't continue its fight against Moscow. While Washington has backed President Zelensky and his countrymen so far, that may be coming to an end. Support for the Ukrainian cause is declining in America's opposition Republican Party and even among members of President Joe Biden's ruling Democratic Party. We ask two simple questions. How did the war in Ukraine become increasingly unpopular in America? And can Washington cut off aid to Zelensky's troops? The war in Ukraine was a popular cause when it began. And that's a rare thing given how divided America seems these days. 70% of Democrats and 58% of Republicans supported the Ukrainian cause after Russia invaded in February. There were several reasons for this support. First, Russia's bad behavior has made it America's public enemy number 2, right after China, of course. Russia was accused of hacking the 2016 American election, and Washington's relationship with Moscow has been terrible since. So, when President Putin's troops marched into Ukraine, America had to step up to defend the country. Not only would American support hurt Russia, it would also help bolster America's alliances in Europe. Before the war, military alliances like NATO seemed to have lost their sense of purpose and had no enemies to fight. That changed the instant Russia invaded Ukraine. America's European allies had a new enemy to unite against and even agreed to radically increase defense spending. Helping Ukraine was also good PR. Defending a fellow democracy against a dangerous dictatorship like Russia was a cause America's politicians and public could get behind. With both Democrats and Republicans united, the money began to flow. In May, America approved a massive $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. As of October, Washington has provided close to $18 billion in military aid in Kyiv's fight against Moscow. This aid has been absolutely essential for Ukraine. For example, the American-supplied HIMARS missile systems have changed the war in Kyiv's favor. HIMARS systems, which are better than any other artillery systems that Russia has deployed, allow precision strikes on Russian military assets. Moscow's supply lines, ammunition depots, and barracks have been hit ruthlessly. Over 100 high-value targets were hit by mid-August. In recent months, Ukraine has put Russian troops on the run and has recaptured thousands of square miles of territory. Despite this happy ending, America is now divided on the question of sending more aid to Ukraine. Members of President Biden's ruling Democratic Party sent him a public letter urging Washington to deal directly with Vladimir Putin and secure a ceasefire. Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the opposition Republican Party in the House of Representatives, caused a firestorm when he argued that the American people would not support a blank check for Ukraine. So what changed? First, Ukraine might be a victim of its own success. Since it has been able to defeat Russian troops, fewer Americans are worried about Ukraine being conquered by Russia. In May, 55% of Americans were very worried about Russia defeating Ukraine. In September, that number has dropped to just 38%. Since Ukraine is not in any immediate danger of losing the war, support for billions in funding among the American public may have declined. Second, America is facing major economic problems of its own. US inflation is at a 40-year high, and many fear that the country is headed into an economic recession. There is a real concern that billions in aid to Ukraine will become unpopular if America faces economic pain at home. That's exactly what Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, said. McCarthy argued that if America entered a recession, then the public would not support what he calls a blank check policy for Ukraine. He may be right. In a poll taken in late September by the Pew Research Center, 32% of Republican voters said that the US is providing 2-month support for Ukraine. That was more than triple the number who said the same in March. More importantly, key American conservatives just don't like American money going to Ukraine. That includes former American President Donald Trump. When the $40 billion aid package to Ukraine was passed in May, Trump was among its foremost critics. The Democrats are sending another $40 billion to Ukraine, yet American parents are struggling to even feed their children, he said in a statement. He has also enjoyed a close relationship with Russia's Vladimir Putin. When Russian troops invaded Ukraine in February, Trump called the Russian president's actions smart and savvy. He also alleged that the Russian invasion would not have taken place if he was in the White House and criticized Biden's handling of the crisis. Major politicians affiliated to Trump have loyally followed the former president. Matt Gaetz, a prominent pro-Trump congressman, Katie Britt, a pro-Trump politician who will likely become the US Senator from Alabama, said, "I am all about supporting Ukraine, but handing them such an enormous amount of money when we have so many issues here at home that need to be addressed, that need attention from our own government, is incredibly frustrating. And to me, it is the definition of America last." Prominent conservative activist groups and media figures like Tucker Carlson of Fox News have also taken a dim view of massive aid packages to Ukraine. Carlson has actually gone viral on Russian state media for his stance against Biden's policy on Ukraine. The picture looks grim. Will America cut off aid to Kyiv? It's certainly a possibility that aid will be reduced, if not removed entirely. The Republican Party is set to win a majority in the US House of Representatives, which is America's lower house, and may even win the Senate, which is the upper house. While some traditional conservatives, like Senate leader Mitch McConnell, will continue to vote for aid to Ukraine, Trump supporters will fight them every step of the way. Ultimately, the Republicans may choose to sacrifice Ukraine in order to preserve party unity. The Biden administration and the Democratic Party will likely to continue to support Ukraine. However, Biden himself will face a tough re-election battle in 2024. He is likely to face Donald Trump again, who is a favorite to become the Republican nominee for president. Should Trump win the White House again, it might be the end of American support for Ukraine.